Hi everyone, I have another scrapbook process video to share with you today. This is using the April Studio Calico kit called Spencer's, and I only got the main kit this time. And so I was just started off with this white cardstock as my base, and here I'm coming in with this really wide gray chevron tape. And I kind of wanted to follow along. I saw this layout. I don't know if it was in the Studio Calico gallery or if I saw it on Pinterest. And I kind of wanted to copy it. It did not turn out the way I wanted to. I'm kind of a little disappointed with how this layout turned out. I still like it, but I wanted to try something different. And sometimes when you try something different, it doesn't turn out the way you had expected it to. And sometimes it does, but this particular time it didn't really turn out the way I had expected it to. So I'm just matting my photo on the background of that, I think it's Tim and Beck paper. It's the one with all the arrows on it. It's exclusive for Studio Calico. So I'm just going to mat that, and just to kind of give it a little definition against all of that gray background, or that chevron background. It was just getting a little busy. And here's where I kind of started. I noticed that some of these arrows you could print or cut out, like they were shaped so that, they were like boxes, so it made it a little easier to cut them out. And then I kind of had this brainwave that, maybe I could put a whole bunch of arrows along the side. And I was like, boy, that would be a lot of cutting to do. But I wanted to just give it a go and see how it would turn out. So here I'm cut out a whole bunch and just kind of fast forward a little bit because it's really tedious for me to be cutting out all these papers or cutting out all these arrows. So I decided I was going to kind of maybe add some stamped elements as well as some wood veneer elements just to add a little bit to these arrows that I had cut out. Now, again, I like the concept of this. I think if I was to do it next time, I would maybe do it on a smaller scale. Like I would maybe have my photo flip the other way and just have a certain, just maybe a couple inches alongside of the photo, with that stamped background and paper background and wood veneer background. But I wanted to try it and just to see how it would work. And, I guess it's one of those things where if you try it out, you might like it. I like elements of it. It gave me a chance to use some glitter, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'm mixed feelings about this one. So here I'm taking some arrow stamps, and these are like from Amy Tangerine. The arrows that looks like 4 lines. That is from this Studio Calico Project Life kit, I believe it is. And then I had some smaller arrows, and those were from, I think those were from a Studio Calico stamp set a while ago. So I used a couple different kinds of inks. I used a gray, I think it's called soft granite. I used, I think it's called cough syrup from Jenny Bolin. Wet cement, I think that's from Hero Arts. And then I think the orange is Tim Holtz. I think it's called Spiced Marmalade, if I remember correctly. So again, here I'm just kind of, laying these arrows out in different directions. And here's where I pull some of these wood veneer arrows out. And I'm just kind of fussing with how I want the arrows to go. I wanted to fill in some of these gaps. And so I pull out, these are kind of like those chevron arrows. I'm not sure what you want to call them. Just kind of laying those ones out. And then I use some smaller ones as well. And I used 3 different spots of them. I was just trying to add you know, little groups of 3 different elements. And I think I pull out some freckled fawn arrows here as well. I think that's what these are. Yeah, these are the freckled fawn arrows. And it just added a little different style of arrows that, you know, were there. And just to kind of, it was just kind of breaking up the page a little bit. So I would have my picture on one side and then all of these elements on the other side. And I know this photo doesn't look like very much. This photo is from the inside of the Hoover Dam, and this is their generator towers. And now it might not be very interesting for, you know, the normal person. I mean, some people might find it interesting. I do, because for my job, I do a lot, like I do industrial sales. So industrial sales is like power transmission, bearings, seals, drive belts, you know, couplings. It's a very machine orientated position. And, you know, if anybody told me, like, you know, 12 years ago that I was going to be doing this as a career, I would probably laugh in their face, because it's more like a man-orientated position. But I've grown to really love it, and I really enjoy it. So when it comes to looking at stuff like this, it just really, you know, kind of gets my, and this is my title, it gets my inner salesman going, you know, because I start going, oh my goodness, I can't believe, like, I would just love to sell one bearing out of one of those generators, just one, because they were so massively huge. And I know from a sales point, you know, the biggest bearing I've ever sold was X amount of dollars, and that would be, you know, 1,000 times smaller than what was here. So for me to actually see and, you know, see how big these generators are and know that, you know, we sell stuff that's kind of on a smaller scale and how much they are, and all I could see was dollar signs. So anyway, with that being said, that's, you know, kind of why, you know, this picture might not be important to anybody else, but it's kind of important to me, I guess. So anyway, back to the layout. You could kind of see me using some glitter, and I forgot to mark down which glitter I used. So pardon me, I'm going to be noisy here for a second. That is the Tim Holtz, it's called Stickles, and it's the dry fine glitter. And I use Christmas red, and silver, and then turquoise. And I really like how the colors kind of pop with the glitter, and of course there's glitter everywhere. I came upstairs and my husband was like, "Are you playing with glitter again?" And I said, "Yes, of course I am." So I really like the effect that the glitter had, because I have a lot of glitter and I have hardly used it, and I feel really bad because I spent all this money on this glitter, and I really like it in the jar, and it's really pretty in the jar, but to use it, it's a little intimidating. It's really sparkly, and it's really scary because it gets everywhere. So, you know, I guess that's why it's probably a good idea to, you know, maybe try a few things. And again, I'm not really overly happy with how this layout turned out. However, I do like the glitter effect, and I think I want to pull it out a little bit more, even though I'm a little scared to. but I really like how it really made those arrows really pop out. So you'll see that in a minute because they're off drying and they definitely need to dry. So you have to make sure you allot time for that. So here I am going in and I actually pulled a whole bunch of scrap paper. So that orange paper there has like the days of the week and it's from Amy Tangerine and I believe it's Ready, Set, Go. And we got it in a kit quite a while ago. And then that arrow background paper, that is from I think last month's kit or the month before. I think it was for February. And that I am using, and I think it's a Studio Calico exclusive. And then I also brought out some Amy Tangerine, it's the silver chevron paper, and I cut some of these into arrows, just because I didn't really want to waste that silver, so I really liked it. So I wanted to kind of add a little bit of arrows to it, just to kind of add another element of arrows to it. And it just felt like it needed something sparkly underneath that photo because there was going to be a lot of you know, glittery goodness on the other side, so I really wanted to kind of emphasize the sparkle on the other side. And because there was so much going on the right hand side of the photo, I didn't want to add too much to the left side of the photo. I just felt it would maybe kind of drown out the photo if I started adding too much. I felt like it would maybe get a little heavy, and I think that's probably the other problem with this layout. I think it got a little heavy on the right hand side. You know, not 100% sure, you know, if that's what I thought. Here I'm just cutting out some of those strips of that paper. This is from the Studio Calico kit this month, or for March, or not March, April. It's called the Spencer's kit. That's kind of like a wood grain kind of arrow print. And I just cut off some of the pieces that I thought I might use as arrows on the other side as well. So you can kind of see it was getting heavy with arrows, but I wanted to add like a lot of different types and just to kind of add some focus to that. And here I started cutting this chevron, and this was in my scrap basket as well, but I don't end up using it. So I go to all this trouble to cut it out, and I don't end up using it anyway. And that yellow arrow piece, that's from crepe paper, and that's again from the last month's kit. But again, I try using it, and I think it was just a little too much. There was a lot going on. I just kind of thought maybe it was just a little distracting. I just thought maybe the zigzag of that chevron would kind of emulate arrows, but it just went the wrong way. So here I'm just going to start layering everything down. And I'm going to tuck those little border, or those little silver photo corners, pardon me, underneath the photo there. And again, here I'm going to try using that zigzag piece, and it's just not going to happen. It just didn't flow very well, or maybe the colors weren't right. I'm not sure. It wasn't for lack of trying, that's for sure. And I wanted to add just a place to put my title on, just because there was a lot of layering going on under that photo. I just wanted something where my photos could rest on. And I pulled out the Studio Calico. These are some stickers we got quite a while ago. I couldn't even tell you how long I've had these in my stash for. And they're by Tim and Beck, and they kind of look almost like ransom tile letters. And I really thought that they would give that pop of orange that the page needed. And then here I'm going to put my title where it says Salesman, and it's really hard to read. I think I put some more washi tape underneath there, I'm not sure. And I didn't have another N, so I just cut one of those little humps off of the M to make an N, and then it was fixed. But I've used a lot of those silver thickers. Those are the Scene thickers from Amy Tangerine. And I'm not sure what I'm doing now. Oh, I think I'm looking at more arrows. Yes, I am. I am looking through my kit as well, but I can see, again, I made this layout quite a while ago, so it's hard for me to remember what I had done. But, oh, here I'm just trying to add some of these labels to see what it looks like, but I don't think I end up using any. But it's hard for me to remember what I've actually done because it was so long. Oh, so here you're going to see all of these glittery arrows that I've made. And I'm just going to put them down on the page and just kind of see, you know, where I want them to be, just to kind of fill in some gaps. And I don't know if I showed it, but I did tape down all of those other pieces, all those other little arrows. I believe I did. I think I taped down the arrows, but I don't think I taped down, or like the paper arrows, but I don't think I taped down the Amy Tangerine, like the silver stripe ones. And here I'm just going to take some glue and glue down all these little arrows. And then I'm going to take, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to take those brown little arrow pieces from that paper from Studio Calico kit this month and just kind of fill in some of the blanks. Yeah, see here I'm going to come in and I'm just going to cut some very little ones and just kind of fill in some holes that are kind of missing something. And again, I think it got a little heavy in spots. I think I could have done away without those little arrow pieces. And then here I'm just knocking off some of the glitter because it was all over my page. And here, these are some chipboard arrows and geotags that we got in the kit for February, I believe it is. And I have been slowly whittling my way through these, and I'm nearly at the end. I can honestly say I really like them. I would probably get another package of them if they were to ever sell them again, just because I used them so much. And the colors in them were pretty neat. So kind of felt like I had a little bit of a trapped white space here, just because there was, you know, my title, and then there was some of these, you know, the little strips of paper hanging down, and I wasn't sure where to put my journaling. And, you know, I think I probably would have wrote it on those lined arrows. I think that would have looked cooler than where I had put my journaling here, and then it would have drawn your eye to the journaling. But I did kind of fill in this little hole here, and now the page is really, really full and jam-packed. So here I'm going to show you really closely and really quickly some of those arrows, and I just felt like they needed to have, you know, something to tie it all in together. So I use, I think it's called sherbet Mr. Huey's ink, and then this is the Tropicana Teal Heidi Swap paper, or Heidi Swap Color Shine. So here I'm going to show you all of the glittery goodness on these layouts. And they, like again, I really like the glitteriness of those arrows. But I'm not too fond with the layout, how the setup is. That's what I have the issue with. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you think, and have a great day. Bye.